Welcome back to another episode of the Switch Survival Guide. So you might have been wondering what I was doing during that whole time between when I started my Plant Species X turrets and when they were fully mature. I did a little bit of a time skip so that the episodes would make a lot more coherent sense. But today I'm going to show you what went on during that time period between episodes, and we are actually going to tame a Christmas-colored Ankylosaur, and we also found this cool green Pteranodon, which is a female, so we're going to try to tame this so we can do some breeding pretty soon, because it's nice to have some extra Pteranodons lying around. So we're actually going to tame a second Ankylosaur at the same time as well. So we're going to see if we can tame 3 dinosaurs at the same time in this episode, and we'll also show you how my new taming pen in the brand new Raft base actually works. So watch the rest of this episode to see if we can tame 3 dinos at once, or if this is going to be an epic failure. So to start this episode, I found this cool green Pteranodon, and it took off pretty fast. I was worried it might not come down quickly, so I just went ahead and bullied this guy really fast, and there she goes. So this is a green Pteranodon, and it's a female, which is great, because I actually want to start breeding my Pteranodons pretty soon. I really hate to take this cool red one into battle, because it's such a rare color, and it's only really here because of the Christmas event. I just love the color of this Pteranodon. Green is a much more common color. Now, you can usually knock out a Pteranodon if it's like in the low teens in one hit with a trank arrow and a crossbow, but I always bola them just in case it doesn't go down with that one. And it also makes sure it can't get over the water, because a few more feet it would have been in the water and died. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot down this pig since we are really low on meat, and I've switched back to my normal arrows. Always remember to switch back your normal arrows after you trank something. I've actually forgotten that quite a few times. So I'm back. I harvested a bunch of meat and hide from that pig. Pigs have a lot of meat and a lot of hide, actually. So they're pretty good for that, especially if you can kill them in one hit with a crossbow. So while that Pteranodon was taming up, I went to check this loot drop, and check that out. I have a ghillie suit here, and that is really helpful because that gives me a lot of extra armor, and it also reduces the heat that I take very much, so I'm probably not going to overheat in tropical climates anymore now that I have 2 pieces of ghillie armor. So while that Pteranodon was taming, I scouted all around the island, and I found this really high-level Ankylosaur. Check this out. This is a female Ankylosaur at level 32. This is the highest level I've seen on this section of the island so far, and what is he doing in here? Get out of here, man. I don't want any parasaurs right now. So I've got my Pteranodon safely on top of the base where it's going to be out of reach. And I'm just going to pull up right in front of this Ankylosaur and show you how this new taming pen works. So, nice little punch in the face to say hello, and we're going to see if we can get her to chase us right down the middle. Perfect. And now I just need to come around here and lock the door while she's still turning around. Now, Ankylosaurs are not super mobile, and a lot of times you can tame them without actually even having to put them in a pen. Oh gosh, did I just use regular arrows? Whew, not cool. Not cool at all. Let's get the tranks out here, and I'm just going to back up so she can't hit me. So this is actually a great setup because I can trank something without it actually hurting me here. Oop, unless I step outside that doorway. I gotta be real careful of that. Oh, no, not cool, not cool. My Pteranodon's down here. Okay, whistle passive, and let me get this thing out of here. Yikes, that's not cool. Okay, I'm gonna use my whistle command to get it out onto the beach, and it is stuck because of the door. Okay, forget the tame, I gotta save my Pteranodon, 'cause I do not want to lose this. Okay, got him coming out, and let me see if I can slam the door again. Oh, that was close. Okay. So, yeah, one of my biggest mistakes that I make a lot of times, aside from forgetting to make sure my tranquilizer arrows are out instead of regular arrows, is I will oftentimes forget to whistle passive on one of my, new dinosaurs, especially a Pteranodon. So that could have gone really badly. We almost, that Pteranodon went down to half of its health, because Ankylosaurs actually do some serious damage. So never forget to take your dinosaurs on passive when you've got them on your raft base. But as you can see here, we're pretty high up, and we can just keep tranquilizing this thing in total safety. And even if this was a pretty big dinosaur, we'd still be able to trank it from pretty high up without actually taking any damage. And since these are stone walls, they're not going to take any damage either. So it's taking a while to knock this one out. There she goes, okay. But, it's a higher level dino, and it's great that we knocked it unconscious. I've got a bunch of spare tranks and arrows just waiting around, so yeah, perfect. So she's out, and Ankylosaurs usually have their torpidity drop pretty slowly, so she should stay unconscious for a little while. So I'm going to fly over and grab some berries. Also, that's a gotcha claws on the left side there. It's like a giant sloth. It's here for the Christmas event. I'm just going to ignore it for now because I don't have anything to do with it. But I did get a free primitive shotgun, which is very helpful. I love the loot drops on this island. And I'm going to go check on that Pteranodon, because it took a couple minutes for us to get to that Ankylosaur. And even though its torpidity is dropping reasonably slowly, oh boy, yeah, that was getting pretty low there. So I'm going to use quite a few tranks, and then when I'm done getting its torpidity maxed out again, I will grab all the tranks and not leave them in the inventory, because that's a good way to lose all of your narcotics if you just leave them on a dinosaur and it wakes up. So, while those guys are taming up, I just grabbed a bunch more medjo berries from the raft where I had them stored, and I'm going to head back over to my raft. Oh, this is nice. Looks like we got a red Ankylosaur down there. So, I think I'm going to have to come back and check that out when I'm done here. Make sure, I'm going to see if it's a male, and if it's a male, I am definitely going to tame that. Maybe at the same time. But for now, let's see how she's doing. Okay, she's lost some torpidity, and we'll get some medjo berries on there, and she's going to start eating right away because her food has been pretty low, I think. Yeah, perfect. She's already taming up nicely. So that'll be real helpful, and I'm going to go check out that male Ankylosaur on my Pteranodon and see if it is a male. So I went ahead and found out that was actually a male, which is great, so I'm going to put that on my tame list. But first I wanted to bring my female Ankylosaur up the beach and get her on a nice safe stretch of shallow beach up here. And I know this area has got a shallow stretch, so whales will not be sinking my raft. And this Pteranodon is taming up quite nicely. It's almost fully tamed, and I love how her head is just sticking right through there. But you can see here my base is completely on the beach, so there's no danger of whales sinking it if it's all the way on the beach. And it looks like if that red Ankylosaur doesn't work out, we've got another regular male right here. So I'm just going to check on these guys, and if everything looks good, I'm going to go and start trying to tame that male. Perfect, we're up to almost 20% taming already. So let's see if we can get down the beach and see if that red male Ankylosaur is still there. Now, before I had a chance to leave, I actually had my Pteranodon finish taming up right there. So I'm going to name her and bring her on down where my other dinos are. I'm just kind of keeping them in this little area down here. Now, if you actually want to build a base on this island, this is a great area to build a base because there are rocks that cover most of this section. So if you just wall off this little area right here, you've got a nice, huge dino pen with walls all the way around it. So I'm going to make sure I put her on passive and get her to stay down here. Don't want to make that mistake again. Now the problem with building a base in that section where I have my dinos is it will block the metal from respawning on this island, and I really want the metal more than I want a base, and since it's pretty safe down here, I'm just going to let my dinos be in the open and make sure I don't tick off any herbivores. Now you can see these big blue speckled eggs. If you pick those up, you're going to tick off all the brontosaurs on the island and you will die, so those big blue eggs are death traps. But any other eggs are also pretty dangerous because if you pick them up, something's going to come kill you. So I'm gonna see if this guy comes close enough. Oh nice, I think I've got him. So if a dinosaur gets close enough to the beach, a lot of times you can just wheel your raft over them, and perfect. He is now on the deck, and I just moved it just an inch or two as he was walking towards the middle of the raft, and then you stop moving as he walks, in the direction away from it. And if you just kind of move that around a little bit as they're walking, a lot of times you can just get them to glitch right up onto the deck of the raft and then just sail away. So I've got a wild Ankylosaur and Parasaur on my raft, and I successfully brought them all the way back to this section of the island. So this is another pretty safe, slow slope on the beach, so it's pretty shallow. I think this will be safe from whales even if one shows up. And I'm just going to park them right over here. So this should be a pretty good spot for taming this red Ankylosaur. And everything seems to be going pretty well so far. Now I am a little bit worried because there are some other Ankylosaurs really close to here. So I'm just going to check here and see how my female is taming up. And she seems to be still unconscious, doing pretty well. And let's see how the gauges are doing. Great, she's still, pretty well unconscious, and she's taming up quite nicely. So, here we are, once again skipped forward just a little bit, and I checked the other Ankylosaurs, and it looks like they're not close enough to aggro us when we start fighting this guy, I think. I'm going to keep an eye on him. So, I've switched my trank arrows in, and we're going to see if we can knock this guy out too. So we'll get a good shot on, well, I'm going to eat something first. Get a good shot on the head here, and I'm going to give him some distance and stand back a little bit. Now I'm looking out to see if any Ankylosaurs are attacking me, and I think the other ones down there are not, so that is good. I was just a little bit worried they would start attacking my dinos. So I'm just going to slowly trank this guy. I want to, since I've got him in the pen pretty solidly, I'm just waiting 5 seconds between arrows, and there we go. He just went down no problem. So he's a really low level. I think he's like a level 4 or something. So that was perfect. I'm just going to make sure these guys have not aggroed, and they are just milling around just fine. So there's no problem with Ankylosaurs here. By the way, if you want an Ankylosaur, Herbivore Island is a great place to get one. And that female is taming up nicely. So I now have 2 unconscious Ankylosaurs, and I moved the raft over to this section so it's right next to my other one. And while I did that, I noticed there is actually an explorer note right here next to that boulder. So this is kind of on the front side of the island. There are 2 explorer notes right next to each other. So if you want to do that trick, I've got an episode which teaches you a trick to get double experience using explorer notes and then just craft stone foundations as fast as you possibly can, and I was able to gain almost 20 levels in 10 minutes doing that trick. So next time I need to level up, I'm just going to come back here, and I'll leave that boulder in place so I can remember where it is. So I made an Ankylosaur saddle, learned the engram, got all the materials, and I also saw this pillar out there of yellow light and got some nice patterns there. And when I got back, I went to check on my female, and she is actually fully tamed up, so check that out. And she made it to level 47 because she had pretty high taming effectiveness, which was awesome. So I grabbed that Ankylosaur saddle and some berries, and I'm going to switch out the regular berries for the Medjo berries, since Medjos are better for taming. Once again, making sure I put her on passive, and there we go. She now has a saddle on her. So I'll teach you a little bit about Ankylosaurs and why they're so awesome. So they are amazing at getting metal, and I will actually show you that later on, probably in the next episode. We'll go on a metal run with our Ankylosaurs and get a ton of metal. Now, Ankylosaurs are interesting because they get you a lot of thatch when you smash trees. They're also really good at collecting things like obsidian and even oil underwater, which you wouldn't think of. But Ankylosaurs are pretty fast swimmers, and if you put some oxygen stat into your Ankylosaur, it will actually let you swim down to underwater oil nodes, and you can collect them very effectively. So that's actually one of the best ways to get oil. You can also sometimes get metal when you're smashing boulders like I just did. I just got 4 pieces of metal from smashing that boulder. And we're also getting tons of thatch, a little bit of wood, but mostly thatch and flint. And I'm going to beef up her melee damage because that will increase the ability to get thatch, flint, wood, metal, and all that good stuff. And hey, she gave me some nice poop too, which I'll be using pretty soon for fertilizer. So Ankylosaurs are actually really good all-around dinos, and pardon me, I'm just picking out on berries. And while I was doing that, I gathered a bunch more materials, and we have our male Ankylosaur just finished taming up. And since he's a cool red color, I'm going to name him Ankylo. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. So there we go. Ankylo is all tamed up, and we've got him named. Now, I do not have a name picked out for our female Ankylosaur, so if you know of a good name or you have a good suggestion for what to name our brown female Ankylosaur, please drop a comment, and if I like any of the names I see, I will go ahead and name her that. So that's your challenge. Also, the green Pteranodon needs a good name too. So Ankylo is all tamed up, and I'm just going to show you this real quick too. These guys can actually do some pretty decent damage in combat, and they're pretty tanky. It's actually hard to kill an Ankylosaur because they have a lot of armor, so keep that in mind, but I would also, since they're so valuable for gathering, I would also keep them out of combat unless you've got some spare Ankylosaurs lying around. Now, I'm not actually sure if these guys can fit through a gap 1 foundation wide, and it looks like it is not going to because of the door frames. So it looks like he needs 2 door frame gap in order to actually fit through there. And there we go. So he is now loose. So I now have 2 Ankylosaurs, and I'm going to load them up on the raft, and we'll actually go on a metal run, and I'll show you how to use those Ankylosaurs to gather tons of metal. So we'll probably do that in the next episode or 2, but I will get these guys loaded up on the raft, and we are going to have a really easy time gathering tons of metal now, and there's a lot of metal up on top of the island here, right in the middle of the hill. So tune in next time, and we'll show you why these Ankylosaurs were worth all the trouble and how awesome they really are. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching this video from the Ark Survival Guide. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more great guides like this one. Ark is an amazing game, but there is so much to learn before you can really enjoy it. We are dedicated to bringing you high-quality guides, tutorials, and Let's Play videos that are fun, helpful, clean, and suitable for the entire family. There's a tutorial in this series for everything we have done so far in this video. Check out these playlists for more episodes from this series and other guides to help you enjoy your journey on Ark.